Hello everyone. Today we will discuss a new topic, computer-aided process planning. So first we need to understand what is a computer-aided process planning. So we can say this term or this process is used in between design and manufacturing process. So it's act as a bridge between these two processes, design and manufacturing, but by translating design specification into manufacturing process details. So that is the process planning. So the process plan, that is a set of instructions that are used to make a component or a part so that design specification are met. So it determines how a component will be manufactured, is a major determinant of manufacturing cost and profitability of the product. So it's a particular set of instruction, then it determine how we will manufacture our component, or also it is used for determining the manufacturing cost as well as profit of the product. So for a process planning, we have certain input parameters. So like design package as a input parameter we use, and as a constant we use facility layout, knowledge, intelligence, time, and as a mechanisms we use industrial engineers, tool, gauge engineers, process planners, and C part programmers. So these are the mechanisms we use for process planning, and for output we get the machining operation plan. So for any process or for making or for manufacturing any product, you need certain operations to do, but we need to know what operations should do it first and what will be the sequence for optimum, we can say optimum machining, or we can say we can reduce the machining time and we can increase the profit and quality of the product. So for that what we do, for getting the machine operation plan, we use as a input our design of the product, all designs, and using these constraint as a facilitated or facility layout, some kind of knowledge, some kind of intelligence and time, then we use some kind of the technology, or we can say tools like industrial engineers, tool gauge designers, part programmers, and process planners, which have the knowledge of the whole process. So the for developing a process plan, this is the steps we need, or we need to follow these steps. So first we analyze the part requirement. So whatever we have to manufacture a product, then that we have to analyze. Then we have to select the raw material for that workpiece. Then we have to determine the manufacturing operations and their sequence. So we need to determine what will be the manufacturing processes or manufacturing operations required, like we can say some kind of like drilling, or we can say like some kind of job for lathe operations required, some welding required. Then we do selection of machine tools, what will be with the different tools being used for that process. Then we use the selection of tool, or we can say the work holding fixture devices and inspection equipments. Then we will determine the machining conditions like cutting speed, feed, depth of cut, and manufacturing times. We can say the setup time, processing time, and lead time. These are the manufacturing time, these three terms, and these three terms are machining conditions. These will be determined, and we as per these conditions, we plan the process. So there are two methods or approaches for process planning. One is manual system, second is computer aided process planning. In computer aided, there are two further types: variant system or retrieval type system, and experimental regenerative system. So for manually process plan, a skilled or individual person examine a part drawing to develop the necessary instruction for the process plan. that required of manufacturing capabilities of the factory, many times undocumented. So machine and process capability, tooling materials, standard practices. So these are the, we can say, parameters we take care for process planning. So these are being widely used, but it's very time consuming, and plan develop over a period of time may not be consistent nor the objective. So it get excessive time to prepare, and cost may be required to develop necessary skill for successful planner. So it's completely prepared manually, and we use a skilled person for that, and it's limited, it's very time consuming. So that is the main problem in manual prepared process planning. So then we need the computer aided process planning. So it's an integration of CAD and CAM system. So use of computer in process planning can, what it could do, it can by involving this computer in process planning, it can systematically produce accurate and consistent process plan. Second, it can reduce cost and lead time of process planning. It can reduce skill required for process planners. It could increase productivity of the process planner. Interface application programs such as work standard, cost estimation, lead estimation time we can do easily. The use of computer in plan can consistently optimize the process routings. It can reduce the pre-production lead time. Also, it increase the responsiveness to engineer changes. So these are the benefits or advantages when we use the computer without process planning system. So first we will discuss the first type, the variant or retrieval computer aided process planning method. So in this method we recall, identify and retrieve the existing plan for a similar part and make necessary modification. And the interactive environment between the planner and the computer is interactive environment with both the planner and the computer. So the process planning for a new part start with coding and classifying the part into similar family. So what we do, we segregate the different parts and similar parts. First we plan for similar part and we classify in some group or some group of families. So that require the displacement and maintaining of a database of standard process plan that contain operations, tools and nodes. So it require recall and editing capability. So mainly we can say we work on existing plan to improve it, and we work only for that existing plans to modifying for this further. So like we have a, we can say, this plan, or we have existing component. So what we do, if we remove this slot, then we can get a new part. So we work on existing part, and we can say for simplifying this product, we can remove in next step, so that is we can get a new part from existing part. So removing the slot operation, and it will change the width of that particular component. That is the new, we can say, new part from the existing component. So this is variant type computer process. So in this particular whole, we can say, sequential diagram, we can understand the general procedure for using one of the retrieval cap system. So what we do in first step, we take a new part design. Then for that particular part, we drive or we calculate the GT, group technology code for that part, because whenever we take the part, uh, we just uh, we just match the part code number with the existing codes, because we have certain group technology part already which have been already assigned to some family, so that we can match with that. Then we search for that part family file for GT code number. Then we retrieve the standard process plan. So we will get the standard process plan for that particular product. Then we edit for existing, edit the existing, or write a new process plan. And for that particular, we can say, to search the family file for GT code, we go for family part family file. And for this particularly, what we get as a input, we get we select the coding system and form part families, and we prepare the standard process plan for part family. Then it will go to standard process plan file, and it will go to retrieval standard process plan. So whatever we do addition or changes in standard process plan, we edit here, and if something changes is required, then we will send it to feedback as a standard process, then it will change. So like that way we will get the process plan formatter. If something is required in final stage, then we use some kind of application programming, then we finally get the process plan or root seed. This is the whole process or general procedure for retrieval cap system. So in variant CAM system, there are advantages like it's have efficient processing and evaluation of complicated activities and decisions. It's a standardized procedure. It lowers the development and hardware cost. It has shorter development times. So disadvantages are like it's inconsistent in editing. Quality is dependent on knowledge and skill of the planner. Obviously, it depends on that. Then optimization of the variables such as material, geometry, size, precision, quality, alternative processing sequence, and machine loading is very difficult. So these are the disadvantages associated with variant cap system. So second method is generative cap system. So in this particular method, process planner. So the process planner automatically generated by means of decision logic, formula, technology algorithm, and textual and geometrical based data. So we generate the process plan by using these terms: decision logic, formula, technology algorithm, and textual and geometrical based data. So it's a truly universal system, not yet developed. It's a universal system. So we can say further it has two component. One is geometrical based methodology, second is knowledge based method. So in geometrical based, it defines all geometric feature for all process related surface together with the feature dimensions, locations, and tolerances, and the surface finish desired on the features. Second is knowledge based. In this system, the automatic matching of part geometry requirement within manufacturing capability using process knowledge and form of decision logic and data. We can say in geometric based or geometry based, we use the geometrical features for process planning. So as we can say location, tolerance, surface finish, these are the parameters. In knowledge base, we use the part geometry requirement with manufacturing capabilities using process knowledge. So whatever the person who have knowledge of the process, or we have already knowledge of the manufacturing process, we get the data in forms of decision logic and data. So second is knowledge based process planning. In knowledge base, we have some tools like AI, artificial intelligence, expert system, rule based system. So in this particular expert system, the we have to code the knowledge of a expert, we can say, or the expert or industrial expert, or we can say a process or manufacturing process. A person who is already experienced, he has knowledge of some of the rules of manufacturing. Then we can encode his knowledge in some kind of expert system, or automatically we can find out some of the, we can say, the process planning, or we can say any of the product manufacturing guidelines. We can encode these guidelines or expertise. Again, there mimic decision making process of one expert, or we can say the experience of the person is keeping knowledge. So the human expert, from the human expert we learn how about the software part. So we can say the knowledge representation is given by if some condition arises, then this action will be taken as. So for each we can say condition, we will get some kind of action, we can get some solution. So in this form we will frame the rules particular. So this is called knowledge based system. So for example, we have a table of row and column separated into four quadrants. So this is decision table. So for decision tables, yeah, some conditions, then conditional alternative, then we will define the actions to be taken, then rules for the executing the actions. So like we have example, some conditions, then rules will be like condition alternative, then action, then we will take an action entry. So there are some certain parameters or procedure for developing the decision table. First, we will determine the condition that will affect the decision. In second step, we will determine the possible action that could be taken. In third step, we will determine the condition alternative for each conditions. In fourth step, we will calculate the maximum number of columns in the decision table. In next step, we will fill the condition alternative. Then we will complete the table by inserting X where rules suggest actions. Then we will combine the rules where it is apparent. Then we will check the impossible situations. Then we will rearrange to make more understandable. So these are the complete step for developing a decision. So this is the one example for constructing a decision table for deciding which catalog to send to customers who order only from selected catalog. So there are some conditions and actions. There are some rules. So 8 rules for customers or orders from fall catalog. Then these are the rules for this particular. If customer order from the Christmas catalog, these are the rules for that. If customer order from special catalog, then these are the rules for that. Then we will find out this send out this year Christmas as catalog. For Christmas we will make the cross where it will not follow. Then we will send out the special catalog, so they will mark on that. Then send out for both catalog, then we will mark on that. So for both catalog it will follow that thing and it will follow. So for making, or we can say for preparing a decision table, we need to check these parameters or main parameters as a, we can say first parameter is incompleteness. If a condition is filled out, the whole decision table would change because a new condition, the new set of alternative, new actions and one more new action rules would have to be added. So you can see we have to check this parameter as a, is the table is complete, or in terms of incompleteness we have to check for that particular. Then second situation is impossible situation. So in this particular situation, for example, a person cannot earn greater than 50,000 and less than 2,000. So then it's a impossible situation, or we can say we have to check that whether the particular situation is feasible or not particular, or is impossible. So for that we need to understand the situation, or we can say that term particularly. Again, the contradiction. So it occurs when rules suggest different action but satisfy the same condition. So this is the contradictions we need to check. Then redundancy. Redundancy occurs when identical set of alternative requires the checked same action. So for checking the decision table for inadvertent contradiction and redundancy is important. So we have like three conditions. These are three actions to be taken. Then for that we have different rules. For rule wise we have checked the conditions and alternative. So these are the contradictions. These parameters, these are for redundancy.